And we're live. This is Chris from Kinky Politics coming to you. Today we're going to talk about strategic relationships with Kai. And
Hi,
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you. I've got my coffee here, living life. I'm just going to set my timer on because I know we've got the gift of the gab.
Yes, we do like to talk. So since this was kind of something you wanted to talk about, why don't you start us off? Why do you want to talk about strategic relationships?
I want to talk about strategic relationships because I think we don't realize how important strategic relationships are in our everyday life, as well as the impact that they have in politics.
Hmm.
Um, I think that the older we get, the more we realize the importance of strategic relationships as a culture, as a people. I
Mhm.
think that young people are starting to get smarter and smarter. And when I say smarter and smarter, I mean that they are realizing the importance of strategic relationships, and we're seeing that they care about their careers more than they do other things like getting married. You know, our millennials, no, Gen Z, they're like, I don't know their statistics for marriage, but it's not looking good.
Oh, it's
They
bad.
are yeah, they're the generation who has like the least sex.
Yeah,
And
shocking. It's easier to get
huh?
than ever before. Could you imagine if we had Tinder when we were in college? Holy shit. Holy shit. Oof, oof.
No, no. But, and I think it's really interesting. I got married when I feel like, older. My parents got married when my mom was 21 and my dad was 28 or something.
Okay.
And oh, wait, were they 21? No, my mom was 21. My dad was, sorry, that's not that big of an age difference. My mom was 21. My dad was 25, 4-year difference. And, that, they grew together, um, and got to know each other better. But I think their relationship taught me a lot about the things that I want and
Mhm.
the things that I don't want. And I also think my parents grew up in a different, obviously they grew up in a different time. They grew up in a different era, but they grew up in South Africa where um, having kids and having, building a home is of highest importance. And it still is culturally, even though obviously the generations are changing down there, but like it's still really important. And I think in a lot of ethnic cultures, it's still big. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I definitely notice it more. We went to college at Purdue, lots of international students, especially from like the Middle East, India. Um, and we had a lot of Asian students there from like Korea, I believe, but I didn't really ever make friends with any Korean students, but I made friends with plenty of students from the Middle East and India. And I remember just being in shock that they kind of approached marriage as like a business, like, I don't know, like a business merger type thing. Like that was their approach to relationships. Whereas growing up in America, you're taught to pursue love and follow your heart and all this crazy stuff that we tell kids. But, you know, I noticed when I met people from foreign countries that in their countries, businesses or marriage is more like a business. Like you're thinking
yeah,
about like if, and I don't, in America, we're taught to kind of look down on that, like that's backwards and like it's wrong and like it's archaic and all this other stuff. Um, which because there's been some issue for women haven't necessarily had maybe the liberties that men have enjoyed in those things. But um, you know, in America, when you see what kind of people have done with free choice to date and who they want, and when they just follow their heart, it seems like people make a lot of mistakes. Whereas in these other countries and like more in these political dynasties, like I don't even know like if these people even love each other, ever did love each other. Like when you see these people that have been married for 30 years that both came from like a Kennedy type family in a bush and then they get married, it's like, did they ever love each other, or do they just sit them down and tell them like, hey, we're joining the families and you're the people that are going to do it. Just don't
I mean,
embarrass us in public.
hell yeah. And, you know,
But then like
um,
the world, like that's the sacrifice. Like, would you sacrifice your unhappiness or like never being able to fall in love if you knew your kids were going to get everything in the world out of it?
here's the thing. I don't know, because in America, yes, we're told to follow our hearts. And I think that's largely due to Hollywood. But, um, you know, you look at anybody in political power,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't look like they were following their hearts. It looks like they were following the power. They were following the money.
Yeah.
They were following the prestige. And and so I think as a general populace, America, we've got that narrative of like follow your hearts, but I don't think that really happens when you're rich.
No, doesn't seem like
And
it.
and part of it though is I think that it's the circles that you're in when you're rich.
Yeah.
You it's like, how can you date beneath you anyway, right? It's like
Yeah, you're
you're
isolated.
not involved. Yeah, you're isolated. Like you don't see that. And the same thing is said for like someone who's like for example, people like when I first moved to Purdue, when I went to Purdue,
Mm-hmm.
and for the first time in my life, I saw lots of super attractive black men. I was like, what is this? And then when I started dating black men, and they were like, nah, so I always thought you always dated like, you know, white dudes. I always thought you were like, and I was like, bitch, that's all I had around me.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like, and you know, also too, you tend to gravitate to what it is what it is. You either tend to gravitate to what your father is,
Yeah.
or you tend to gravitate totally against what your father is as a woman. And the same thing for a man. You gravitate to what your mother is or completely against it, right?
Yeah.
So in my case, you know, my dad's Israeli, so I'm looking for someone who not necessarily resembles him, but someone I can find a bit of familiarity with.
Yeah.
And as Freudian as that is, it is what it is, and I see that it happens with everyone, right? Um, but I realize now as I've gotten older that these strategic relationships they're in these ethnic cultures, as you said, and they're looked at as more like business relationships, but we do see them in Western culture as we do see this type of behavior in Western culture where these relationships, you know, are for power or political gain, or to continue family uprising, you know, or to uphold family name, and it's something that isn't largely spoken about.
No, we don't like to talk about the fact we have basically a caste system forming in America.
Yeah, you know, but look at the monarchy.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. They're inbred, you know, and I feel like the latest prince, you know, just did something that was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's still nuts. It's so nuts he had to move away from his own country, move away from everything that he's ever known in his life to be
Yeah.
with this black woman all the way in LA who was hanging around in those social circles and was very familiar with those social circles
Mm-hmm.
and was a celebrity, you know, so it all worked out, right? But oh shit, my battery's running low. But I mean, we can also bring it back to somebody, you know, I use myself as an example. Um, as I got older and I was really evaluating the types of relationships that I want, whether those are platonic or intimate relationships, I started to look at the functionality of those relationships, and particularly one in marriage. And when I think about it, it is business.
Mm-hmm.
I thought to myself, okay, who am I going to get along with when the sex is over? Because there's going to come a time where we're going to be too old and raggedy to do all that funky shit anymore. And then am I going to enjoy time with that person? Who is going to be, you know, have the same values as me, or at least similar values? Who's going to be who you know, who is fiscally responsible because I'm irresponsible. You know, I had to weigh up all these things. Who's going to be in support of my endeavors and the things I like to do? Who's, you know, and who's going to share their time with me in a way in which I like
Yeah.
everything was negotiated. And it was, to be honest, as much as I thought it was going to be about, I'm, you know, I'm in love with him and fireworks and he is my prince. And, you know, it was lust. And you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when I first met my husband, I was like, no, no, thank you. You know, like, this is a nice date. See you never. You know what I mean? And I wasn't thinking twice about it. I was just like, yep, this is a good time. Peace, you know? And as we continued to date, I was like, wow, he's actually smart. You know, I started to realize some things, and oh wow, he's you know, oh interesting. He kind of got a little bit of an English culture there, you know, which is similar to my upbringing. You know, my culturally, you know, obviously South Africa is colonized, you know what I'm saying? So there was a similar culture going on there. And I realized, wow, it's not actually American at all. And I knew he wasn't American, but you know, I'm American. So I'm in my head, I'm still ignorant as fuck. So I'm just like, well, he should be American anyway, you know? And because he wasn't, he was actually exhibiting traits that were familiar to me. It made me interested. And so as I just kind of went on, and I finally got to the point where I was like, all right, motherfucker, it's either you propose to me or I'm gone. I realized that this relationship was purely negotiated. It was a negotiated relationship, one in which we both agreed on, and one in which we said, yes, you're a good life partner. You're a good life partner for me.
Yeah.
And it was very equal. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, you know, it was like, no, you know, this is the type of temperament I need. This is the type of person I need, you know, and we both kind of came to these realizations. And I don't think I would have been there in mind if I was in my 20s, you know, and first of all, I was a wreck,
Yeah.
you know, and walking around with my heart on my sleeve and letting it break apart and, you know, and all those things. But it's business, you know, and I do business with my husband. We do business. We do finances. You know, we fight like we have a business, and we have a business, you know, we have a marriage business. We also have businesses that we have together.
Yeah.
So I don't know, what's it like for you?
For me, well, I don't know.
That's put you on the spot. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to do all that.
Now for
I see you
me,
over there yawning and freaking out.
it's something changed over time. Because I feel like when you're younger, no matter how much you try not to, you ultimately kind of get seduced by physical attractiveness of people that you're pursuing at that young age. I don't know if it's just because there's so many hot people when you're younger or how that works exactly, but I was always kind of cautious against it, but it still happened. Um, Whereas now, you think about things more now, like as I'm older, I want to have kids or, you know, own a home or retire. You start thinking about like, is this person good with money? Is this person reliable? Like, am I gonna have to worry about this person being unemployed, like not finding work and take care of them? If kids are involved, is this person gonna be a good mother, good wife, things like that? Um, it's certainly different because when you're younger, I don't know, like you do approach it more like a business type thing though, because it's like a negotiation. Whereas like when I was younger, the idea that you could love somebody but be not good partners was just like, no, that doesn't make any sense. Like, but now I completely understand that. Like, I understand completely that you could love somebody but be toxic with that person. Whereas when you're younger, you can get in some pretty toxic relationships. You're like, I love them and they love me. Yeah, well, sometimes it's a lot more than needed than that. Because sometimes you love some messed up people, especially if you're messed up.
Amen.
Yeah, so I think it's certainly changed. I don't know. You don't talk about it in those terms. Like you still talk about it in terms of like love and all that stuff. But yeah, you definitely look at it more as like a business negotiation type thing as you get older.
Yeah, I think so. And I think because of that, excuse me, I'm eating a little fig bar here, but I think because of that, we really need to take away um the negative stigma that we have regarding, oh God, prearranged marriages. What do they call them? I
Yeah,
forgot again.
yeah, prearranged marriages or arranged marriages. Yeah,
Arranged marriages, exactly. Because honestly, I think my parents would have done a fucking great job arranging my marriage. They would have known my temperament. Then
yeah,
they do know my temper. They know me the best. Sometimes they know me better than I know myself, god damn it. And you know, my mom knows I like, what type of dudes I like. I like all the little pretty boys and I like all the little rugged boys too.
hmm,
She would have known how to pick the right one. And my dad also would have spit some things in there and been like, do you have this? Good. All right, you do? All
yeah,
right, you don't? Goodbye. So I honestly think if my parents, I might have been pissed about it maybe, let's see, 10 years ago if they did that. But if they did do it 10 years ago, I'd probably be doing okay. And I actually probably would learn to love him
yeah,
just like I learned to love my partner in different ways every day, every year. Because because I do think that how we've approached our relationship is negotiated. I hate saying the term business because it sounds so
yeah,
disgusting, but in a lot of ways it really is what it is. And I don't think we should shun away from that or shy away from that. And in a larger scale, when we look at politics and people in politics, I mean, I think that truly most of these relationships are negotiated. I look at Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and I'm like, how was charming, seductive, attractive Bill Clinton, I don't care what anybody says, okay? How did he end up with Hill?
yeah,
I don't know, because Hillary, for me, is as average as they come. She's as basic as they come. And I saw her when she was young. She was nice looking. She was just okay. She was just okay. She kind of had this sort of like homely look to her.
yeah,
And I know it's not just about looks, but you see, when you're that young, you base everything, most of your things on looks. So I feel like, they got together in college. For me, getting together in college and knowing somebody in college like that and like trying to vibe with them, and it not be about looks, you're crazy. You're crazy, you know? But they did. you know what I'm saying? They got together in college. So it means they were, I think, you know, yes, I'm sure he found her attractive, but maybe for a variety of reasons, many of those things probably negotiated. And
Yeah.
when I look at them now, the fact that they were able to, they can stay together
Mhm.
after all that shit came out. Sorry, after all that shit came out, and him cheating on her, and all of that.
Yeah. That was
I'm
negotiable.
like, that was negotiated, boy. Because she was like, listen, Bill, I'm not fucking you. I'm not doing this. I'm not, you're going to live on that side of the house. I'm running for president
Yeah.
and you're going to back me up and you're going to be the first female vice president and, you know, suck it. You know what I mean? Like, look, it probably wasn't like that, but I do think this stuff is negotiable. Because who stays with that? Who stays? Who stays?
Yeah. I was shocked by that. I will
And
say for the
still
arranged
have
marriages,
babies
they
with.
have arranged marriages have a much higher success rate than non-arranged marriages, for what it's worth.
See? There you go.
I think
There
we
you
need
go.
people to start thinking about relationships this way though, because wealthy people have been doing it for as long as we've had written history, and they're smart enough because they know the way, like, marriage and like family is how you pass on assets to the next generation. It's how you protect your wealth. It's how you grow your wealth. Whereas like they don't think about things in love. They're thinking everything with them is about protecting wealth, passing on wealth. Whereas we're thinking about just like this little short little 30, 40 years. They're thinking about like the next generation, getting that corporation, getting, you know, that stuff they're going the properties they're going to leave to them and how to protect it. Because they know
Mhm.
divorces, you can lose some stuff in a divorce. So it's like you got to pick somebody else who's from a family that understands this game we're playing here. So if you guys are unhappy, hey, you can have your mistresses, you can have your flings, but you're not getting a divorce. You're not gonna like screw this up because this is
Uh-huh.
ultimately a business contract. Like this affects the families. It's kind of crazy because like the list of billionaires in America are like the top 20 richest people in America. I think 12 of the top 20 inherit that wealth.
Mhm.
So the
Mhm.
majority of billionaires in this country inherit the money. They don't earn it.
Mhm.
That's why they approach these marriages like a business contract.
Amen. And God, you said something which oh gosh, I forgot altogether now, but it was something um yeah, I agree with that. Gosh, I forgot what you said. It was just so good. Inheriting. Anyway, yeah. So I think I think that you know, in addition to Hill and Bill, you know, you've got Kamala and Dougie.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Obama and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of strategy at play with Barack Obama having a black wife as opposed to a white wife. I think that helped his political career in a big way. I think he is more relatable to black people if he has a black wife. I think he got more of the black vote because for a lot of people when Barack Obama first came out, for a lot of black people, he was not black enough. He was unrelatable in a lot of ways. Very educated, quote, spoke white, um, you know, had a name like Barack Obama, you know, a Muslim name. It's just, the list goes on how different he he was to the common black man or you know black person in America. You
Yeah.
know, and then you've got then you have Kamala Harris, who is married to Dougie, who in the past had a serious relationship with an older black man who helped to advance her career. And this is common knowledge. So all those of you who are like, no fucking way, yes way, go look it up. And you know, she stopped messing with him and married this very sweet, demure, supportive, white husband, and they don't have kids.
What does her white husband do?
He's a lawyer.
Oh, I was thinking he was going to be in finance.
Uh-uh. But he looks like he should be.
Yeah.
That's a really good call. He looks like he should be. And I think, for me, I think that looks very strategic on her part. I think it looks like, you know, she's not just a strong black woman. She can get along with white people. She's got a white husband.
Yeah.
And so therefore she's comfortable in white spaces, and she's not just a black militant woman, and look at her. She passes. She can go for other ethnicities. She's not just black now. She's biracial. And she is biracial. I'm not getting that, I'm not saying she isn't.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it diversifies her in a different way. It doesn't just make her as, it doesn't just give her this stereotype that a lot of people like to attach to black women. It makes her more relatable in a lot of ways. You
Wrap
you
this up.
yeah, go ahead.
Computer's about to die.
Hmm?
So my computer is flashing the battery signal at me. I think I need to get my charger.
Oh my God, get your charger. But another one, sorry, another one is Trump.
Yeah.
Trump marrying Melania. Boy,
Hold that right. Go. So you were
but
saying
another one. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you were saying about Trump?
Yes, this man and Melania Trump, the biggest power flex ever. He's wealthy, and then he decides to marry a mega babe from Russia. Hello, mega babe from Russia. And she's the biggest flex. She is such arm candy. It is not even funny. And whether or not she was in those political circles, she is hot as hell. It's like marrying a Kim Kardashian who isn't yet Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, not only does she have an amazing bod, she's got an amazing face. And wow, he is the hottest dude in the room just because he married the hottest bitch in the room. Excuse me, I'm cussing. I apologize. And yes, I'm not a feminist, but power to women. I mean it in the best way. And yeah, and anybody, I'm sorry, I gotta say it, anybody who's like, oh no, Michelle Obama is a babe, blah, 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 and you try to compare the two of those women, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. You are hurting us all, okay? And you're lying to the rest of us, and you're lying to Michelle. No, Michelle is not as pretty as Melania. She is not. Melania is a fucking supermodel.
Yes.
She's a supermodel.
Yeah.
I am not saying Michelle Obama isn't a babe. She is intellectual. She is nurturing. She is a strong black woman. She is a vulnerable black. She's a beautiful black woman. And she has done so much to empower us. But I'm sorry, Melania is a babe. And the sooner we just come around to that, the better it's going to be for us, okay? And no, Melania does not need to be in politics, but she's done her job to strategically help him in office, and she continues to. So,
It is weird, though. I've never seen a politician like use arm candy as like a political tactic before.
because he's not a politician.
I know, it's just so weird that, I mean, I think it does help, but at the same time, it's like you've just never seen, I don't know, you've never seen a politician do that before. Like just have this supermodel woman on his arm. But it is like this weird, like, I don't know, animal instinct in your brain. When you see somebody with like a really attractive woman, you automatically just kind of like gravitate towards that person. Like, I don't know what that is, but it's been that way since, we were in elementary school. Like whatever guy in the class got the hot girl, all the other girls were suddenly interested in that guy, even though they don't know anything about him. Just the fact that he got the hot girl, they're like, oh, there must be something about this guy. I'm interested in him
Exactly. And that's why I say it's the hugest flex. It's a power play. It doesn't matter if he's in politics. He's in entertainment,
now. Yeah.
and he's the first of his kind, outside of I was about to say Jesse Ventura, but it's not even him. What's the guy I'm thinking of?
Jesse Ventura, I think. Yeah, the wrestler.
No, no, yeah, but the other wrestler.
I,
Ah, ah, that guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The one who married the Kennedy.
I don't know. Do you know Cory Booker's with Rosario Dawson, right?
He's with her.
Yeah, they've been together for a couple of years now.
I thought Cory Booker was gay.
So did I. I think that now I'm just wondering, do you think that him getting with Rosario Dawson was a political move, or do you feel like that was something different?
I think it was the circles he keeps.
Okay.
And honestly, I think he's gay. And I think George Clooney is gay, and it's a beard.
You
You
think
know what I
George
mean?
Clooney's gay?
Yeah, I think George Clooney's gay.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I think he's mad gay.
Cory Booker, I
But
definitely could see. George Clooney's never really, I don't know, maybe. Hollywood guys are a little hard to sell sometimes.
yeah, like he's the guy married to the Kennedy, who was governor, not Jesse Ventura, but the first one before Jesse Ventura.
He's the only wrestler.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay. He threw me off when you said wrestler.
He was a wrestler.
He never wrestled. He's a weightlifter.
Oops, my bad. I thought he wrestled.
That's right.
Um, anyway, yeah, so when I say that Trump is the first of his kind, I don't mean he's the first of his kind because I mean the first of his kind who didn't marry politically. He married for power.
Yeah.
So, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the first of his kind in that he's an entertainer, but he married into politics.
Yeah.
But it's those social circles again, it's who they hang around. And I feel like that was pretty strategic. But yeah, Cory Booker, I feel like that might be him with Rosario Dawson. It might be a Orlando Bloom thing too, where they just, Orlando Bloom's gay. Okay.
Think so?
Wait. Did he impregnate, what's her name?
Isn't he married? He's been married to like 3 different actresses. All really
Yeah.
hot actresses.
I think
Is he with Katy Perry?
I think he has a baby with Katy Perry now.
Yeah.
Pregnant with his child. That doesn't mean he can't be gay.
That's true. I guess by
Look at the Jenners. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like with Cory Booker, that might be a political move, and it's still it's strategic.
Yeah.
Because he can't be like a Don Lemon. You know what I'm saying? He can't do that and expect to, and the reason, oh God, I'm having clustered thinking, is the reason is because Pete Buttigieg.
Mhm.
Now Pete is the first of his kind.
Yeah.
And he's paving the way here. But Cory Booker as a black man coming out gay?
Nah.
Ooh, politics? Oh my God.
I feel like Cory Booker needs to get him like a darker, more, I don't know, somebody more ethnic, like more darker and like more like ethnic looking to offset him if it's like to really help him. Because Cory Booker, like number one, he seems like really square, like because I think he comes from Newark, but
Yeah.
like if you hear him talk, he doesn't sound like somebody who came from Newark. He sounds like somebody who came from like elite private schools or something. He needs to get him a woman that kind of has more of like a I came from Newark kind of type of vibe to kind of offset him Because I know like they've been trying to like prepare Cory Booker for the past like 6 years now, like prep him to be the next Obama, but people just aren't buying him because he doesn't have that Michelle on his arm to kind of offset him.
I also don't think he's charismatic enough.
No, he's not
I
as good as Obama, but he's kind of like a poor man's Obama.
Yeah, and also
This
he
seems fake though.
he seems fake to you.
Well, I think he's trying to be Obama, whereas with Obama, it just felt like that's who Obama. Oh, what just happened? Am I talking to myself now? Because I don't see you anymore. Uh-oh. We're gonna stop that.
Oh my God. Orange is not my new black.